are you, where exactly are you staying in? No, you're muted, ma'am. Shalini, ma'am? Yeah,
Yeah.
please go ahead.
Yes, now can you hear me?
I can hear you now. That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
I'm based in Karnal. Karnal
Wonderful.
is known to everyone because of Kalpana Chawla now.
Vivek might
It's
have
a
served
very
in Karnal. We'll ask stories about Karnal from Vivek as we go on the session.
sure. Viv, I know about Vivek from my ex-principal, my advisor, Mrs. Neena Rai. Mr. V. N. Rai is wife. He was
Right.
in police services,
Yes,
and
yes,
probably
yes.
probably Vivek, they are quite known to your father.
That's right. My father and Mr. Rai were colleagues. And yes,
Yes,
I
yes.
didn't know that I think I remember his wife was a principal, but I didn't know of which school. So that's very nice to know.
Dayal Singh Public School.
Yeah, yeah.
That's Dayal Singh Public School. She'll be joining us today.
Oh, she's joining.
She'll be
Wonderful.
joining us today.
Where are they
Yeah,
based?
she's there.
Where are they based?
She, they are in Karnal Sector 7, next to the IG office. They are
Yes.
putting up over there. And
Mhm.
right now, all of us were in quarantine.
Of
So,
Yeah.
course. So, ma'am, it's 9:30, so I'm sorry for
yes.
interrupting, Vivek. Why don't we formally start?
Sure.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning from Himachal. Vivek is in Chandigarh, ma'am, you're in Karnal, and that's the beauty of technology, that we're all so far away and we're still, it feels like we're all together. So good morning, everyone,
Yes.
to Ideas That Matter. It's a series of webinars that Shulini University, Kasole Hills is hosting. We do it every day with leading schools of India. The objective is to share ideas, share views, and hopefully inspire each other. Very quickly, my name is Atul Khosla. I am the founder and pro-vice chancellor of Shulini University, Kasole Hills. Uh, as a quick background, I'm a BTech from IIT Kanpur, went and did my MBA from Bajaj Bombay, and then worked for around 25 odd years in the corporate sector in different parts of the world, 7 different countries, multinationals like McKinsey and Company and Oliver Wyman. So my last job was the Asia CEO for Oliver Wyman, which is the third largest consulting firm in the world. Around 7 years back, Vivek, I decided to start teaching, and I'm a very proud teacher now. I hate to call myself a pro vice chancellor. I call myself a teacher because I am a teacher at heart. And I can tell all of you as teachers over here that I've never been happier in my life. I love teaching, and my moments of glory come when I speak to audiences. So I love every moment of these webinars, and so does Vivek. Welcome, Vivek, to the webinar. Quick introduction, of course. Who doesn't know Vivek? He's an ex-IAS officer, but a few things which I'd like to share. He inspires me through his work of the IT Park Chandigarh, which is so unique, and Chandigarh owes that to Vivek. But Vivek is an amazing person. He's so calm, so motivated, a very dear friend, a visiting professor to us at Shulini, and a phenomenal speaker. So thank you, Vivek, for being with us today. And of course, Shalini ma'am, we can't thank you enough. It is a true honor to address all the teachers of your wonderful school. I'm told it's the #1 school of Karnal. And as coronavirus opens up, we'd love to come and spend some time with the teachers and students. So I
Thank you
think
so
before
much.
Vivek starts, I'd love you to probably speak for half a minute, and we'll then share it over to Vivek.
Thank you so much. And we would love to host you. I would like to welcome Dayal Singh Sector 7. Uh, we all rock, and today we are going to have a great session with Mr. Vivek Atray on emotional intelligence. Thank you so much.
Over to you, Vivek Atray.
Thank you, Atul Khosla. Thank you so much. It's so nice to be here for another webinar of Shulini University. Thank you, Shalini ma'am, for the welcome and warm words. And I look forward to also hearing from Mrs. Rai in the program sometime later. So it's very nice to be connected to the Dayal Singh Public School today and the other branch also, I believe 2 branches of the school. And about 70 teachers are already there in the mix, and many more maybe on YouTube. So it's very nice to see you all. It is Sholini University's endeavor to reach out to these schools, and I am advisor and visiting professor, so I feel very much a part of this initiative, and it's very heartening to see how much we are able to make an impact in the lives of people through technology these days, especially when they need a little more of reassurance, perhaps. They need a little more of encouragement. And these webinars are really making laudable change. I have heard from other people also. Yesterday, somebody joined in, Atul, who was not connected to either Shulini or the school, but a friend of mine, and he said he really enjoyed the session. So I guess the public is joining in also at times. And it's really great to be speaking to the Alsing Public School teachers and the principals today, because my father was actually born in Badagaon. Badagaon is not far from Karnal. And originally, the family belonged to Karnal district. And then his father shifted to Sonipat district, Kharkhoda. I never lived in Kharkhoda or Badagaon, of course, but I was born in Delhi, and we lived in Delhi and Chandigarh, and also a few years abroad. So my father was an IPS officer, and I'm an engineer from NIT Kurukshetra before coming into the government service. And NIT Kurukshetra is, of course, near Karnal and not far. So we would visit Karnal. I have fond memories of another family who stays there, another couple, the Vasudevas, also retired from IPS, Mr. R.N. Vasudeva, and Mr. V.N. Rai, of course, you mentioned, who also writes very well, and I've read his columns in the Tribune. I think the Tribune recently also on police and law and order very nicely. So please convey my regards to all of them, whoever you, when you meet Mr. Rai. And it is really nice to see that you are taking the initiative to try and improve the emotional intelligence skills of your teachers. This is a topic which is close to my heart, and emotional intelligence is something which everyone needs. Some have large doses and dollops of emotional intelligence. Others have a little bit, but everyone has some emotional intelligence. And I would go a little far and say that most people are intelligent, but most people are not emotionally intelligent. So let us say that more emotional intelligence is required in this world, and we should endeavor to find out what it is. So basically, Daniel Goleman is the guru of emotional intelligence, and he has definitions, and he has these points on emotional intelligence. I'm not going to go into the theory of it, but to put it very simply, and I'll show you a couple of slides at the end. To put it very simply, emotional intelligence is the ability to handle people and situations in a calm and balanced and empathetic manner. So this is not very complicated, very simple. We are living in a society where we have to interact with people. Even during the lockdown, we are interacting with our family. We are interacting, perhaps you are interacting with students, online classes and all. And you're also in touch with your family, extended family, friends with telephone. But when you are in workplaces, then you're also interacting in physical proximity with your colleagues, teachers, and others who are at school. You're interacting with parents, you're interacting with students above all. So emotional intelligence is much required whenever you're dealing with people. Supposing you're sitting with your computer all day long, and the computer and you are the only two entities in the room, emotional intelligence may not be required to that level, because the computer receives logical commands and processes information and brings out some results. But if a person is also sitting in the same room working on a computer, then you need emotional intelligence immediately. I have often used the example that if you go to work and you find that the person sitting next to you is not feeling herself or himself today, is looking low, is feeling a little downcast or sad. And you, as a busy person, today's era, youngsters especially, do not even notice their neighbor. and they go through their day on the computer without noticing left, right, or anywhere, and not even caring about others at all. So it is important for us to ask the person, what happened today? You're not looking yourself. Is something wrong? Are you okay? So that kind of thing. So people are full of emotions, and the backgrounds are different, mindsets are different, thinking is different, and people come up with various unpredictable habits as well. This unpredictability of life requires emotional intelligence to handle. Let's take an example. So supposing you are a teacher and you are teachers and you are teaching in class. Let us not talk about lockdown days. We'll talk about lockdown days later. When you are in normal school classes and you are teaching, and suddenly from somewhere a parent comes to the class, although I'm sure they're not allowed to reach the classroom. The school will not allow that. But supposing a parent comes and in front of 40 students starts saying something unwarranted, not required, and a little cut up at something, complaining about something. In that complaining tone, this parent is talking to you, and you are in a situation where there are 40 students looking at you. Maybe the neighboring classroom's teacher also comes out, hearing the commotion. How are you going to respond? And the kind of mindset you have, the kind of emotional intelligence you have, will be displayed over there as the way you respond. Another example could be that you are in charge of a certain function to be taking place in your school, and there is going to be, let's say, an annual day, and you have a team of, let's say, 4 teachers. You're a senior teacher, and you have about 10 or 20 students who are also volunteers in that group, and half the people are not really interested in what they do. They're not working as well as they can, and the deadline is approaching, and the principal is going to come for a round and have a look as to what are the preparations. You are likely to lose your cool with people because they're not working. These are situations, both of them, where our emotional intelligence is tested. So calmness is the number one factor which helps us to retain emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence requires firstly self-awareness, awareness of your own emotions and awareness of how you react. There are people who are irritable and there are people who are cool, who don't really get irritated by anything. So there could be one person who is irritated by most things. That could be one extreme, let's say this extreme, and another person who is hardly ruffled by anything that happens. These are the two extremes. We are all somewhere in the middle. So if we can retain our calmness and not be ruffled by things which don't deserve our reaction or our negative reaction or losing our cool, then our emotional intelligence quotient is high. And if we are able to put ourselves in the shoes of the parent who has come, maybe that parent has a genuine grouse, but this is not the right way to express it. Maybe the team that you're working with for the annual function has some constraints. They have a genuine reason for not being able to respond. If they do, we have to understand that reason as leaders. All of you are leaders. You are leaders of a class, you are leaders of a team, you are leaders of your family, and you are leaders of students who are looking up to you. So your expression, your demeanor, your way of conducting yourself, your grace under duress, under stress, when people are not cooperating. Do you lose your control over your emotions? Do you shout? Do you panic? Do you wilt in the face of pressure? Or do you remain solid, firm, and balanced? These are the qualities that are probably required. And a calm mind will take the right decision, help you to say the right thing. A ruffled mind or angry mind or restless mind or disturbed mind or distressed mind will not allow you to behave in a manner that is required. I take the example of a pond, which I've heard Saint give in one of his satsangs or lectures. He says that a pond of water is perfectly calm and the reflection of the moon is clearly visible. But if we throw a pebble into the water or a few stones, the water will be ruffled and disturbed. And what will happen is that the reflection of the moon will be distorted. Similarly, our mind, when it is calm, we see the picture before us clearly. Not the physical picture, but the picture of the situation. And we respond with a clear mind. Otherwise, when we are disturbed and angry, we might say something which we should not have said, which we regret later, which might even go against us later. And there are families which have broken up because of one sentence uttered by somebody 20 years ago, 40 years ago. Uske baad diwar ban gayi aur koi mil nahi paya. So what happens in society, in life, people lose control of their emotions, their anger, their blood pressure is not controllable. And therefore they are able to, they actually lose their cool. So the first thing to practice is calmness. And calmness is a quality which I follow through the teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda. Paramahansa Yogananda said, be calmly active and actively calm. Now, whenever I use this quote, I often get quoted in the paper or wherever for having said this, but I haven't said it. It is Yogananda ji who said it. He said, be calmly active and actively calm. And this book, Autobiography of a Yogi, which I'm going to show you right now, is the book which I follow, which has these great teachings, Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda. And many of you may have seen it. These are the classic teachings of India. And they are the teachings that will help you to remain balanced in body, mind, and soul. If we are only a body or a mind, then we are incomplete. We are actually a soul. So he says we are not bodies who have souls, but we are souls who have bodies. And you know the Gita or any Indian scripture will also tell you the same. So to remain calm and balanced, to see the bigger picture that we are a soul which should not get ruffled. Our personality should be such that we know that these ups and downs of life will come and go. These difficulties we are facing will come and go. Even this virus will come and go. Don't think that it will remain forever. I was listening to someone as pleasant as Boman Irani yesterday. And Boman Irani, of course, is a great actor. I'm very fond of him. I've heard him live in Mumbai once. And he was saying that all these guys who are talking about the new normal, I don't like it. He doesn't like the term the new normal. Even we used it a couple of days ago. He says that no, life will change back to being happy, good. Everyone will be able to communicate as before, be with each other. We will beat this virus. So he is gung-ho. He's not a doctor. He may not have scientific reasons, but he's positive and expressive. So here I'm going to pause and request Professor Atul Khosla to show you a small video of a very interesting experiment on water and purity of water that Aman has carried out along with the professors from Shulini, which is a very research-oriented university. So please have a look. Over to you, Atul.
Thank you, Vivek. Truly appreciate. I think you speak about calmness and your face exudes it.
Thank you, sir.
I always get impressed how you speak without moving your head at all. I think we need to learn a lot from you.
Thank you.
But coming back to EQ, Vivek spoke about calmness. There are two concepts I'd like to bring in beyond calmness. One is creativity, and the second is collaboration. So as we move to the new world, I won't use the word new normal anymore, Vivek. As we move to the new world post-coronavirus, or even before that, collaboration and creativity are very, very important for all of us to succeed and be happy. The world is built around alliances. Any piece of work that you think about, whether it's this phone, for example, is built through huge amount of collaboration, which probably didn't exist even 15 years back. On a project like Apple, for example, there are more than 300,000 engineers who are working together. Some of them are computer scientists, some of them are metallurgical scientists, some of them are behavioral scientists, and some of them are even designers who come up with this amazing product. So they need to bring in collaboration into their work, and they also need to bring in creativity into their work. And all of that is the right side of the brain, which is driven by EQ. And calmness, of course, catalyzes all of that. I'm going to bring in an example of Aman over here. And we're very proud of Aman because she's done an absolutely astounding piece of work that I'm going to show you in a second. The story of Aman is simple. Like many of your students, she comes from a lesser privileged family in Punjab. She was a rather average student in her undergrad and postgrad. And then magic happened in her PhD. The magic happened through both collaboration and creativity. She started working on a project on water. And we all know how important water is. It's shrinking day by day. And Aman came up with an amazing concept, an amazing idea, which we'll show. She's won a very prestigious award called the Young Waters Fellow. More than 100,000 researchers across the world apply for this UN-sponsored fellowship. So Aman won it. She spent 3 months in Geneva, and post that has won a 25 lakh award by Tata Trust and Lockheed Corporation to pursue her research. Who knows, Vivek, if things go the way they are, she might even win the Nobel Prize, and we'll be the happiest. But here is the video for all of you. Every time I play this, I get goose pimples, Vivek. And the answer is very simple. You need not be the most intelligent person in the world. But if you have creativity, you've got collaboration, you've got the EQ, the world will be at your feet. Over to you, Vivek.
Thank you very much, Atul. It's lovely to see how Shulini University is encouraging research, and remarkable work has been done already. I also happen to know that for psoriasis, which is a very dreaded skin ailment, also Shulini came up with a wonderful solution, which was lauded even by Kiran Majumdar-Shaw. And lovely facilities for research at Shulini, you all must go. I am missing my visits to the campus. I am in Panchkula and not able to go to Shulini nowadays to teach or talk or advise, and I look forward to my visit. Also looking forward to Karnal. So Atul mentioned something about public speaking skills, and this is not a session on public speaking skills. Maybe one day we'll do that also. He said that I keep my head still. And I think it comes from having played a lot of cricket as a batsman. We were told to keep our head still as a batsman, so maybe that's why. And also, I must tell you that my uncle in Karnal, also Mr. Santosh Atray, I think he taught in one of the Dayal Singh College institutions, and his daughter is also teaching in one of the institutions. Shachi, I think. Yes, Shachi. So very nice to know that they're all connected and you are also all there. So lovely to continue the topic on emotional intelligence. I'm going to tell you a small story and how gratitude plays a part in our lives. And emotional intelligence comes from being aware and grateful for what we have. So there was a man who unfortunately was falling down a cliff on a mountain top, and he was struggling to get back on the top. He was hanging by barely the thread of just his fingertips, and he was almost falling off the cliff. He had no chance of survival, but somehow he managed to stay on. And he suddenly realizes that God is the only answer. So he prays to God. He said, God, please come and help me. So he says, is anyone there? And God's voice comes. And God says, yes, I will help you. I think you should jump. And the man obviously doesn't want to jump. He has fears of jumping. He'll break his bones. And he doesn't have faith in what God has told him. So he says again, he looks up and says, is anyone else up there? So man is like that. When God has given him a solution, it may be difficult, but he doesn't take it. He wants someone else to give a solution. And similarly, Pedro is a man who was having an interview at, let's say, 10:30 a.m. in New York. He drove around a friend's car and found the place where he has to reach for the interview. But the car was borrowed, and he didn't want to park it in the wrong place. He would lose, his friend would lose a lot of money if it was fined and challaned. And the New York police is very strict. So he could not find a proper parking for 25 minutes. The time of interview was 10:30. It is now 10:55. And Pedro suddenly realizes that he will be late for the interview and he will lose his chance. He can't find a parking. So he looks up at God finally and says, God, please help me to find a parking. Within a second, he finds a parking. And he parks the car. He locks the car. He looks up at God and says, never mind, God, I found the parking. And there was a condition also, which I won't repeat, but there was something he said to God, promising him, I'll do this, I'll do that. But he didn't do it because he thought he found the parking. We are like that. In both cases, we have to be thankful to the Almighty, but we forget when times are good. This is a very basic learning, teaching. Being grateful for what you have is an emotional intelligence factor. And what you don't have, to crib for that, to complain that the neighbor is doing very well, I am not doing well. My colleague who joined after me has been promoted, so I am very dukhi. This is a kind of attitude of not being grateful for what you have. Of course, it is good to be ambitious, to be trying to be better in life, getting more in life, but we have to be content also with what we have. Contentment is a great quality to have. Another quality of emotional intelligence is the positive outlook and cheerfulness. Cheerful people are people, it's not to be taken lightly. Cheerful people are people who are admired by others, and people who can remain smiling even under lots of stresses are people who really inspire others. And we have seen nurses and doctors in today's era, how hard they are working for us. I was able to go online and speak to doctors and nurses from 16 countries, including India, recently at a webinar organized by Government of India. And I was just able to tell them this, that we are so grateful for what you're doing. Stay motivated, stay calm. 15 minutes that webinar was mine. But I told them this only. And emotional intelligence is helping them to remain unruffled. They know their families are waiting. They know they are under risk, but they are working hard. So we have to be with them. So empathizing with others, being grateful for what we have, cheerfulness, calmness, balance, these are qualities of emotional intelligence. So I'm just going to share a couple of slides with you here. And these slides will just tell you a few more points which you might find are useful to you. So I'm just going to share the screen. And now the screen has been shared. So you can see nuances of EI for leaders. And EI is emotional intelligence. Leaders are you and me, because we are all leaders. If you think that only political leaders are leaders, you are mistaken. They are actually sometimes not leaders. We are actually leaders because we are leading somebody, inspiring somebody. Even a 4-year-old child is the leader to the 2-year-old who is a sister or brother, looking up to this bhaiya or didi or whatever, and learning from that child. What is nuances? Nuances means finer points. So once I went to a town in Punjab, and it could be Haryana also, and somebody announced the topic. They said, now Mr. Atray will speak on nuisances of emotional intelligence. So I corrected them. I said, it's not nuisances, it's nuances, which means finer points. That is just on the lighter side. We don't have to be Shashi Tharoor out here to understand these things. A leader is a leader all the time. So when you are a teacher, you have to conduct yourself like a teacher all the time. Somebody seeing you in the market, the parents and the child are there, they see, oh ma'am school mein to bahut graceful and calm aur shant rehte hain, yahan wo shopkeeper se haggle kar rahe hain. That is okay to haggle with the shopkeeper. But somehow, I've been an officer in the IAS, I've been deputy commissioner also. We have to somehow conduct ourselves in public life in a manner that is exemplary all the time. There is no downtime. If somebody calls you in the middle of the night that, sir, ma'am, my son is not well, and you are the teacher, can you guide me, help me? You have to respond. So all the time. And being ahead of the game is another emotional intelligence factor, where you are looking ahead at what is going to come in May, June, July, August, September. I'm not talking about the virus. Every year, there are things which are going to come, that annual assessment, annual exams, annual function, some Founders Day, something else is going to come. So we need to prepare for things which are going to happen later, not only be firefighting every day to day. That is very important. Cheerfulness, I already spoke about. Receptivity means that you are listening to others. You are capable of absorbing ideas from others. It is not that you are so self-centered. Being self-centered is a sign of low emotional intelligence. High ego and low emotional intelligence is for people who are self-centered. Me, me, I. That is a very negative kind of condition to be in. So we need to think of others, be receptive to ideas from others, suggestions from others. Communication is the all-time favorite topic of Atul and me and any speaker. If you are able to communicate your ideas, your factors of success which you think they should undertake, there is so much to be said about precise communication, prompt communication, regular communication, oral as well as written. So if your skills of communication are already good, which you are teachers, you are speaking in class every day or online classes nowadays, it is important for you to keep on improving even further. So make sure that your voice is loud enough, your ideas are clearly understood by your team or your students. Firmness is instead of anger, instead of being angry, losing control to get your things done by showing your authority too much. It is better to be solid and firm, not allow people to take you lightly. Tell them you mean business. 5 o'clock means 5 o'clock. Punctuality means punctuality, but no need to lose your cool and temper. Be firm and gentle at the same time. Decisiveness means that you have to take decisions, and a great trait of leaders, administrators, teachers, principals is to take the right decision. How many marks does a student deserve? How much do we need to spend on this particular project? Whatever it is, it's very important to be doing that. And we have, let me see where my next slide is. I just have to, yeah. So delegating work as opposed to simply assigning it is another nuance of emotionally intelligent leadership. You have a team and you are trying to tell that team to do something, but you're not really delegating work. You are only assigning it and then not really having confidence in your team. So as a leader, you have to have confidence in your team. And in life, always know that importance and urgency are distinct. There are things which are important and urgent. There are things which are important, not urgent. There are things which are urgent, not important. And there are things which are neither important nor urgent. These are the 4 quadrants. And if you look at the fact that many things are urgent but not important, let's see what they are. Somebody has come to the school. You are a senior teacher. You have classes to take. If you spend your own time to meet that person, let's say 2 hours for some reason, You could have delegated it to someone else. Better to do that. Or if it is important that you prepare a report in the next 2 months, not urgent, then you would dedicate adequate time every day. In fact, from Dhoni, we can learn how we can be all-rounders. And I admire Dhoni's capacity to remain calm and unruffled in a match. You have all seen him. How calm and unruffled is he? And our present captain, Mr. Kohli, is becoming a little calmer now. Used to be very, very angry and tempestuous in his behavior, but he's getting better. So we can, maybe he's getting better because of his getting married to someone. So that's it. I won't, okay, let me take this case study also because it's related to an educational institution. Naina Singh is a faculty member at top university. She's acting HOD of her department. Important inspection committee is to come. Enormous amount of work to be taken care of. Preparations are to be made. Her second in command is non-cooperative and even argumentative. What does she do? She has a lot of work, a lot of responsibility. Perhaps her own child is also not well on the same day. So much of stress. The only way is to remain calm and take the right decisions. Delegate work to the right people who you know can do it. Not lose your cool, not start shouting at people, and remain so calm that you are able to see how to handle this multi tasking which has come on top of you. So just to stop the sharing for a minute. Yeah, now. We are going to wind up this session in a while and you are going to ask questions. I have already seen some questions are coming. That's very good. We will be answering them. But just to sum up the emotional intelligence part, I would say that you have to analyze and introspect. Each of us is capable of turning the spotlight of introspection upon ourselves, analysis. We are normally criticizing others, analyzing others. Ye aisa hai, wo waisa hai. So let us turn it on ourselves and try to see where we are lacking. If we are prone to anger, spurts of anger, can we reduce them? Can we reduce the frequency and intensity of anger? Our personal relationships at home, our official relationships will improve. So try and minimize anger. Introspect at the end of the day. Today, I said a couple of things I should not have said. Today, I did this, which I, even at the age of 50, 60, 40, 30, whatever you are, 20, it is important to analyze and see how you can improve. And then if we are able to control ourselves in that moment when we are challenged, then try and improve further. So day by day, we improve our emotional intelligence. We start caring a little more for others. It is said that if you care for others, the universe cares for you. That empathy for others, our children nowadays rather are more empathetic, I've seen, for society than we were. We were more into our job, our career, our this, that, and that. And these kids, our kids, your kids, have concern for the poor, for others who are not so well off. Many of us do also, but we can learn from our children how empathetic they are. So analyze yourself. Are you self-centered? Are you happy as a person? Did you spend happy moments during the day? Did you smile enough? All these factors of cheerfulness, calmness, balance, contentment, compassion, all these things are very, very important. So let me hand it over to Atul now. We have a few questions and Atul is going to show you a video, which is very interesting, and how creativity, which Atul mentioned, which I haven't taken up today, but Atul, over to you.
Thank you, Vivek. I'm going to talk a minute on inspiration, which is also a big part of EQ. Inspiration can make ordinary people extraordinary, and we all know this. And I think that's really the role that teachers have. My belief is that educational institutions, whether these are schools or these are universities, are in the business of inspiration. We were in a TED talk yesterday, Vivek, and the speaker, Ritesh Malik, he spoke about fire in the belly. And that's what inspiration does.
Absolutely.
Many of you might not have heard about Shulini and the work we do, but I'm very proud to say that as we speak today, we are the largest patent filers in the country. We beat the mighty IITs in terms of filing patents, for example, by miles. We filed more than 200 patents last year, Vivek. way ahead of IIT Chennai, which was at 140. And these were all done by students. And these students are not the 99.9% students that IITs have, but are more of the 80 to 95% mark students. How does it happen? Inspiration. Academic research at Shulani today is top 3 in the country, again higher than some of the mighty institutions you're all aware of. And that's the passion I think I have and Shulani has to say the future of India is young India. The future of humanity is young humans. And I think the role that all of us play as teachers is humongous. And sometimes we don't probably realize it. Sometimes we're not proud of our work, Vivek, as teachers. Sometimes the world doesn't talk about us. I'll take a small example over here. In my opinion, the biggest corona warriors today are you teachers, us teachers. We have done a phenomenal job of stepping up. There's been a phenomenal change that has happened. There's a revolution that's happening on online learning. I was speaking to a security guard of my university and I was asking him कि बच्चे कैसे हैं? And he said कि सर आजकल तो बच्चों के पास बिल्कुल टाइम नहीं है. गांव के छोटे स्कूल में पढ़ता है विवेक. वो भी उसने मुझे बताया कि सर वो तो ऑनलाइन पढ़ता है. इसका मतलब छोटे गांव तक ऑनलाइन पहुंच गया है. और वो सब आपने किया है. You are the teachers who made it happen. So first of all, I'd like to thank you for doing such a phenomenal job. But secondly, I'd also like to mention that be very, very proud of yourself, because if you're not there, then India will not be India, the world will not be the world. I'm going to show a small video about Shulani and young India, because that's the passion that I live every moment of my life.
Throughout history, the young have always been the ones to shape the future. And they continue to do so today. You are the country's biggest asset, our best bet to conquer the future. So what are you waiting for? Your time to dream is now. Dream of the research that can change the world. Dream of a high-flying corporate career. Dream of higher studies in the world's best universities. Dream of developing cutting-edge technology of the future. Dream of your own global startup. At Shulani University, we empower you and enable you to chase your dreams and change the world. Shulani University. Think learning, think success.
Let's take the Q&A, Vivek.
Yes, so the first one is from Neelam ma'am. How can we control our emotions in a condition we don't like to be in life? Neelam ma'am, yes, we are often in conditions which we don't like to be in. And life is not full of bed of roses, obviously. So we are basically to take the ups and downs in our stride. The Gita says a quality that the Gita lists out of 26 qualities is that we should be observing equanimity. Sanskrit mein bolte hain titiksha, which is basically even-mindedness. So if we can somehow remain not too buoyant when things are going well, we don't do the bhangra every time things are going well, and we remain a little solid when things are going wrong. So it is difficult. We are human, but we try to improve, and only the improvement matters, our endeavor to improve. Emotions which are beyond our control can be controlled by meditation also, if we practice meditation offline. Naz ma'am is saying this webinar is like food for the brain. Thank you very much. Virendra Singh ji is saying inspirational, thought provoking. Ravinder Yadav ji is saying, how could we create more balance? How to deal with a bad day? Yes. So we all go through bad days, but if you count, the bad days are much fewer than the good days. Any normal life will not have bad moments as much as good moments. There's no doubt about it. So we have to thank God in those good moments, make him your fair weather friend, and then in bad weather also he'll come to you. So that is the thing that you have to basically, you have to remember God in all times, and he inspires, he helps. Of course, you can also, if you, even if people are agnostic or atheists, they also can remain calm and cool, but it is good to be drawing on some power to help you when bad days.
I'll just like to add over here,
Go ahead,
Vivek, and you
please,
do a lot
please.
of meditation, and you'll be speaking about meditation,
Yes.
I think, in the next question.
Yes.
But to me, pursuing a hobby or playing a sport is very critical over here. So bad day, just go and play squash, hit the ball and hit it hard, or just cook a lovely cake, or do something nice, something that you've always wanted to do. So pursue your hobbies. All great people in this world have great hobbies, whether it's Steve Jobs or it's Barack Obama or it's Narendra Modi. So please don't get away from the hobbies you have. All of us have great hobbies. I'm sure some of you sing very well, some of you cook very well, some of you might even be national sports people. So just go out and don't lose that.
Absolutely. These things, creativity and sports, especially Atul rightly said, for the children also, this is important. If children are playing outdoors for 45 minutes to 60 minutes, they will not be so ill-tempered at home or, irritated, and they will sleep on time. Physical fitness and exercise and sports is very, very vital. Then we have Anjali ma'am. Sometimes I react in a way which is not even expected by me. How can I control my unconscious reactions? That's a very good confessional kind of statement, and very nice of you to put it here. It happens to all of us. We do lose our cool at times, but the frequency is what matters. If it is happening too often, that you are losing your cool or you're reacting in a manner that you didn't want, I think the thing to do is meditation. And Atul mentioned it. I will now just mention a little more about it. So I showed you the autobiography of a yogi. I'm going to type out a website for you in your chat box where you can learn meditation techniques. We follow it, Atul and I follow this meditation path, Kriya Yoga. And any path, you can follow any path, but spend 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the evening. Sometimes I say 10 minutes, but I really think 10 minutes is not enough. 20 minutes in the morning and evening, even once a day, if you do 20 minutes, it will help you to handle your emotions throughout the day. So prepare for the day by doing that in the morning. Ruby ma'am,
I'm very tempted to share a confession over here, Vivek.
Sure.
And it's a small story about me. So I have a terrible temper, and I used to be even worse when I was younger. And I can associate with what Anjali ma'am is saying. I try very hard every day, but my story comes around 10 years back. I was heading a very large corporation, several thousand people, and I really shouted at my assistant, at my secretary, in a very bad way. And I couldn't sleep for 2 days after that, Vivek. Of course, I had the power. I was the boss. No one said anything to me. But I decided that this is not done. And I thought to myself, what would I have done to someone who had done the same thing if it was not me? Of course, I couldn't fire myself because that was not up to me. So I took a strong call. I took a call of saying, I'm going to address all my team members and I'm going to apologize in front of them for what I did. And I did that. It was very, very difficult for me. Again, I still get into a sweat when I think about it. But that prevented me from doing that type of stuff again. So, you might want to have a partner or someone, a mentor who can guide you, Anjali, who can just think about him or her, and you'll be able to control your emotions. It's very, very difficult. I can tell you, I struggle every day. I still falter probably once a week, but it's really, really come down. Meditation is another way, of course, and Vivek spoke about it.
I think that's a very beautiful incident that you recounted, because when you speak from the heart and you share things close to your heart, then it has more of an impact. And I'm sure all the teachers must have been inspired by that. Ruby ma'am is asking how to overcome stress. So it's a very general thing, but meditation, long walks, exercise, and stress will reduce if we don't overthink. Overthinking is a modern ailment. We are thinking too much. So when you catch yourself thinking, try and go outdoors and spend some time with nature, observing the trees. Right now, there's a lot of breeze outside. So many things happening. Nature is at its best at this time with the virus lockdown. But do something outdoors that will help you. And also see what things are stressing you out. Try and minimize some of them. Say that, okay, this thing doesn't really matter. Next time, I'm not going to bother about it. Make a list of things. Madhu ma'am is asking how to teach students to stay calm under difficult situations. Yes, whatever we are telling you today, Atul and I, if you can also share with your students in certain ways. Because when I speak to the teachers, Atul speaks to teachers, we expect that you will also go and share these nuggets with them. Because when they are young, they have more anger, they have more temperamental kind of behavior. So it is very important for them, and physical exercise and sports will help them to stay calmer for sure. If meditation can also be adopted by a teenager, nothing like it. It's superb. They will have an edge in life which we didn't have.
I'd like to bring in a concept which you've taught me, Vivek, which is forgiveness.
Oh, yes.
And I think we get agitated, or we fight with people because we believe we are right and the other person is wrong. The moment you forgive the other person, and the moment I use the word benefit or doubt, Vivek, the moment you give that benefit or doubt to the other person, the story is over, and suddenly your emotion is gone. Because, and I can just tell you, yesterday I had a terrible day. I was having a discussion with a friend, and we got into this is related to work, and we got into a bit of an argument, and I came out fuming, saying that, look, the guy just doesn't understand. My way of dealing with such situations, Vivek, is that I then go blank then I stopped thinking about it for an hour. So I didn't think about it. I did something else. I then came back and I told myself, let me try to understand why he was saying the way he did. And it immediately sort of helped clear my mind. I gave that person the benefit of doubt. And in the morning, I picked up the phone and said, look, I'm sorry, whatever happened. It's a new day, let's move on. And it just relieved the whole situation, because absolutely, I'm sure even he had a pressure cooker night.
I think we have a lot of common questions, so I'll just club them. Ambika ma'am, you're asking how to remain calm. So the same thing applies. Meditation and practicing offline. When you're not in the situation, analyze yourself and you'll get better and better. Garima ma'am, how can we maintain balance in our life by being emotionally sound? Yeah, very good objective to have. Use creativity also to remain balanced. Have something to look forward to on Sunday or Saturday, weekend, where you are indulging in your creative passions, that is writing, reading, music, photography. Do something like that. Also make it a part of your life, at work also perhaps. Then Ambika ma'am, appreciation. Yes, appreciating others is a great trait. The quote is that be an encourager. The world is full of critics. So don't be a critic. Everybody can criticize. Appreciation makes you feel better and you get goodwill in return. Indulging in hobbies gives a vent. Yes, absolutely. Then we have, thank you, sir. Okay, Ravinder Yadavji is saying.
I'd like to pick up Ravinder's question, if you allow me, Vivek. Right?
Too much politeness and calmness can make you Yudhishthira of Mahabharata. Well, Kurukshetra is not far from Karnal. So I guess you are more impacted, but we are all impacted.
I'd like to pick this up for a second, if you allow me, Vivek.
Sure, please go ahead.
My belief, Ravinderji, is that you do not have to change your style. There's some people who are very calm. There's some people who are not that calm. I think being honest is actually more important. And don't change your style, because if you try to be someone else, you will fail. You have to have your style. You're born with a unique style, Ravinderji. But don't lie, be honest. And if you're a little edgy, or you're more, the type who gets more excited, of course, control that. Don't go beyond a point, but you don't have to be like, I can never be Vivek, and Vivek can't be me. I have my own style. He has his. So I would say you could still be very successful by becoming Arjuna, right? Just don't become Duryodhana. So you could choose between the 5 characters of Mahabharata, including Krishna, sixth, and decide which one you want to be. Yudhishthir is not the only way to succeed.
I would add that Krishna is obviously the endeavor of everybody to be like Lord Krishna and God. We cannot be, we are imperfect. But you see, politeness and calmness doesn't mean that you are weak. You have to be balanced and solid and have strength and react when required. So it is not one-sided. Makkar ma'am, Savit Makkar ji is saying that it's a great book. Yes, Autobiography of a Yogi is a great book. Thank you. Galaxy, who is actually, I think, Morley Sandhu. Is that the name? Morley Sandhu is saying, thank you, Atul sir, for sharing such a personal feeling. That's great.
Thank you.
If we are feeling down, how can we make ourselves better? That is Kadambri ma'am. These lows will come and go. The thing is to bounce back. And bounce back by doing what you love doing in that after that moment. Get into some music or reading a book which you love, or some sports which you love. So get
Vivek,
back.
I'm going to intervene over here. I'm sorry. There's
No,
some questions on the Q&A. So
okay.
Let's quickly go through them also.
All right.
Which you
I'm
might
just
have
going to
missed.
wrap up this chat. I don't think we have any other. Kadambri ma'am, I hope I answered your question. Watching birds, butterflies also helps. Savitji says yes. Is doing the work sincerely also a type of meditation? Shachi is asking. Shachi, absolutely, it is correct. But meditation is a higher form of living. I think apart from doing your work sincerely, give some time to meditation, morning, evening, and I think you will benefit by that. And that is something, meditation is vital. Counting your blessings is another way. Yes, Shachi, Savitji, yes. आशीष सिंह is saying धैर्यपूर्वक किया गया व्यवहार ही सुनिश्चित करता है कि आपका निर्णय सही है. बिल्कुल ठीक है. Okay, everyone is saying calm person are always right and short-tempered people are always wrong. No, it's not that. Short-tempered people and calm persons can be the same person. Archana ma'am, they can be the same person, at times short-tempered, at times calm. So you have to see which one of you. Short-tempered is not actually a good quality, but you can be firm, as I said. Thank you for all the praise. Also, everybody is praising the seminar webinar. Atul, we got 4 out here in Q&A.
That's right. So let's quickly pick them up, Vivek. We've got 2 to 3 minutes.
How to control our emotions when the circumstances are bad. Upma ma'am is saying, yes, so this you have to practice offline. That is, when the circumstances are not bad. At that time, analyze that next time when circumstances are against me, how am I going to react? So deep breathing helps, meditation helps, and being determined not to react will help you. So that counting to 100 before you say something when you're angry is also a good trick. So please try these methods. Be conscious of it. Atul, would you like to take Madhu ma'am's question? How to teach students of senior classes to stay calm during difficult situations?
I think the first is to be a role model. So please make sure that your students are going to go after, they're going to, I think, emulate you. So that's the first thing I would say. The second thing is many times we are stretching them too much, especially around studies. So encourage them to have hobbies, encourage them to play. And lastly, if the situation goes out of hand, don't hesitate to speak to their parents if needed. But of course, in a nice way, speak to the students. I think students also understand the need to be calm, the need to be good as they would want. So I think these are a few tips that you could take.
Absolutely. I'm just mentioning some websites because they asked. I think Shulini's website is already given. So You can stay
I'll
connected.
type it down. Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
also
please
type
type.
it down. But
So,
let's pick up the other questions.
is for meditation. I have also given my own website at the bottom of the list, and that is a website where I have all my articles and talks. We can stay connected through LinkedIn and YouTube. And Shulini University's webinars are all on YouTube. You must have a look at them. They are beautiful webinars on various topics, not only this topic. At least 6 to 7 topics Atul and I have covered in the last fortnight, I think. And Nitasha Chavla ma'am is asking a very important question. When you are cheated by people you trust, how do you deal with the situation? Now, this is a sensitive matter. It happens to all of us, and they let us down at times. People can let us down, those who we look up to or we trust. They are human. We are also human. So nobody's perfect. We have to see whether they are willing to improve. And if we are patient with them, and we forgive them. As Atul said, forgiveness is something which is very difficult quality to have, but really makes you feel better. We can't go on forgiving someone for repeated mistakes. That is also not right. But you have to feel lighter by not feeling burdened by that problem. The other person has to improve. So encourage them to improve, even be stern with them to improve. If they still don't improve, then give up trusting them, I must say.
So I'll just add one more incident of my life, Vivek.
Sure.
I think being positive and moving on is probably way better than filing legal cases. Some people might want you to do that. A very specific case of my life, I had switched my job to be the CEO of a company called Watson White, which was a large company. I was 32 at that point of time. They had given me a 5-year contract to head the country, and somewhere along the way, after 1 year, we decided to change strategy, decided to close India. And I was very, very upset. I was very angry. I thought I had been cheated. I went to a couple of friends. One of them was a lawyer, Vivek, who told me, Atul, you should file a case, you'll get a stay, we will just win it, etc., etc., etc. And I was all gung-ho and I almost filed the papers. Luckily for me, I called up my father and I told him that, look, I've been cheated and I'm going to file a case against the company. And he made a very interesting statement. He said, Atul, you're 32. You have two choices. You'll win the case, I know, and you might get the money, who knows? But no one will ever touch you again as far as the job is concerned. Now think about it. It's a long marathon. Life is a long marathon. Your job is a long marathon. You've got another 40 years probably to work. Why wouldn't you put all that energy into building something rather than destroying something? And I think that stuck on me. So I would say, unless it's something very, very difficult for you to forget, just move on in life.
Absolutely, absolutely. Great examples, Atul. Beautiful examples. Two last questions. How to handle a student who brings you again and again to adverse situations, Veena ma'am. There are people in life, students or teachers or colleagues or whoever, you have to handle yourself. And if you're allowing somebody else to control your peace of mind, that means that that person has too much control over your behavior. So be determined not to react, not to respond in an adverse way. If that person needs care and counseling, put that student to counseling and talk to that student offline. That means individually. And Sudesh ma'am or sir is asking, sorry, I'm unaware of the gender. I try to remain calm, but sometimes people make me behave in a way that I don't like in this condition. What to do? Yeah, that's what happens to all of us. And we react, unfortunately, temperamentally. So we have to really, really control ourselves and our emotions and practice offline. That is when we are not in that situation. I think meditation will help you definitely.
So Vivek, it's become actually very.
It's all your gender. Yeah.
Vivek, it's the whole discussion has got a little heavy over the last few minutes. So I'm going to, before we end, I'm going to make it a little light. So how about a rapid fire set of questions to you?
All right. As long as you don't put me into trouble.
Okay. Favorite color?
Favorite color is red, even today.
even today? I thought it was black. Okay, I've got the red on the side. Favorite food?
Favorite food is sambar, dosa, idli.
South Indian, huh? So love marriage or arranged marriage?
Love marriage. I met my wife in Kurukshetra NIT. She was 2 years junior, and Nina is running a school for toddlers in Panchkula. We live in the campus. So I live with the principal, and she's the boss.
Okay. Favorite university campus?
Shulini University is a beautiful campus. I'm not saying this because Atul is there and I'm part of Shulini. I tell you, when you go to Shulini University's campus, nature talks to you, speaks to you. And the kind of inspiration you get from the Yogananda library, the whole layout, the planning, the architecture, the Yogananda wheel, amazing place.
Your dream in life?
My dream in life is to be a good speaker and to motivate people.
Is that it? Are you being honest? No award, nothing? You don't dream of winning the Nobel Prize?
No, not the Nobel Prize, but maybe some awards along the way.
Lovely. We wish you all of that, Vivek. And once again, thank you. What a wonderful talk. What a wonderful pitch. So exciting to always be with you. We'll request Shalini ma'am to please come on and close the day. If you're there, Shalini ma'am. Shalini ma'am, are you there?
Yeah, she's there.
Okay. Yes, I'm very much there. I would say thank you so much, and wow, in terms of experience. I have attended, I don't know how many webinars, been to IMM, IITs, but this has been a great experience. In fact, now I would like to say, I want to come to Shulini. I would like my teachers, on side of my teachers, I would like to thank for such a great experience and the way you guys answered the questions and you took up everything, like it is great. And a big thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
I think it's a generosity, ma'am, and teachers. Thank you. You know, it'll be an honor to spend time with all of you, and whatever little we can do, we'll be delighted to contribute. And of course, there's nothing like a free lunch, so which means we'll also come and have lunch with you in Karnal. I've heard there's some beautiful dairy farms around Karnal.
Yes, they are. Yeah, we are known for our food eateries. We are known for that. So we would love to host you.
Every time I cross, we go to Delhi, you know, we stop in Karnal in one of the dhabas. So now we know there is another stop that we can come to, man. There's another home we have.
Yes.
Look forward to that.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome.
Thank you.
And with Vivek, one thing, Rai ma'am is there. She'll be talking to you later. She's listening you. She'll be talking to you.
I look forward to speaking to her. Sure. My regards.
Once again, thank you everyone. What a wonderful talk. You know, it's very difficult to get energy from the audience when you're on a webinar, but I am very excited after this. I can tell you it's one of the best I have done, and it's because of the energy we got from all of you. So Thank you very much for listening to us, and be safe, be happy, and Vivek, always charming. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you, Atul.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.